if you're dealing with, well, specifically if you're dealing with Google AdWords, you may find it particularly relevant, particularly useful, to automate the process of putting quotes and square brackets around your keyword phrases. And one way to do this, one useful tool I've found online, if you go to www.mikes-marketing-tools.com/adwords-wrapper.html, well, as you can see, that's the address there. And all you do is type in your keyword list here, type in or copy and paste your keyword list. In this case, let's quickly put together a three phrase keyword list. Keyword 1 here, keyword 2, my third keyword phrase. So here we've got 3 keyword phrases. So if we click on the Wrap AdWords button, it takes you to the next screen, which shows you the original keywords, broad, phrase and exact match keywords here. As you can see, the first 3 here are in the initial keyword phrases, and then repeated with quotes around them, and then finally repeated with square brackets around them. Or if you just want phrase match, you'll find them here. Or if you just want exact match, you'll find them there. And there's more here as well. So that's a very useful tool, which you may find that useful for helping to manage your keywords. However, what I'm also going to show you is a way to automate that process on your own computer. Because with online tools, they may not always be around for whatever reason. The owner may choose to take them down or take them off the website. So it's useful if you know how to do this yourself. Now, a tool I use for working with text files, and which is very powerful, is TextPad. As you can see, I've got it open here. You can get a copy at www.textpad.com. And click on download. And you can try before you buy. There's plenty of other text editors on the market, so try the ones, try several if you want and see which ones you prefer. I've worked with TextPad for a while and I find it very powerful. One that may also interest you, well, actually, if you just go to www.download.com, that's always a great place to start for downloading any software. And most software have trial periods these days. So, for example, if you just click here, if we just search for TextPad initially, okay, we've got TextPad there. If we click through to that page, what's useful on download.com is the categories. You can see TextPad is part of the category Downloads, Windows, Developer Tools, Tools and IDEs, Editors. So if you click on Editors, you'll find many more text editors. So you may want to download several, try them out and see which one you prefer. And then what I often do is click here, click on the user rating, and then that sorts all the results starting with the highest user rating. And that's often a good sort of ballpark figure of whether the software is worth a download. So then you should find more text editors. As you can see, EditPad Lite, that's free, that may be one to check out. 96% positive, which is obviously very good, and so on. Whereas if we scroll down and try to find TextPad, It's free to try, as you can see, and 92% positive, so that's pretty good. So okay, let's go back to TextPad. At the minute we don't have anything open. So we want to open, File Open. Let's do that again, File Open. And we want to open a text file containing our keyword list, our key phrase list. So, you would navigate to wherever on your computer your keyword phrase lists are. I've just got it on the desktop here, as you can see. And we've got ebook keywords.txt, which is .txt, which is a text file. So I select that, open. Okay, and this has got 237 keyword phrases, I believe. If I place the cursor there, on the last line, and here at the bottom of the screen in the status bar 237, that's the line number. As you can see, if I place the cursor there, it changes to 236. If I place it back here, it goes to 237. So 237 keyword phrases. So I'm going to show you how to automatically add quotes at the beginning and the end of each keyword phrase, because obviously doing it manually is a real pain, especially when you're dealing with hundreds of keywords. So what I do is go to the search menu and choose replace, and you'll find it similar, whichever text editor you're using, you'll find it fairly similar, and it's something called regular expressions, and that basically, in a way, it basically means special characters. And what I strongly suggest you do, if you're using a different text editor, click on the help and just do some research into regular expressions so you know what to do in your case. In this case, in TextPad, \n stands for end of line. So okay, find what? \n, so end of line. Text, yes. Regular expression, make sure that's ticked. Scope, active document, yes. So, just to demonstrate, if you click on Find Next, you can see it's highlighted here, the end of the line. Find Next, the next end of line. Find Next, and the next one. So what we want to do is replace each end of line with quote, end of line quote. So basically that has you, well, let me just demonstrate. Let me place the cursor at the start of the document. So if we find next, there's the end of line, it's found. We want to replace it with quote, end of line quote. So let's click on replace. You can see what it's done. It's stuck a quote there. It's then put an end of line character, and then it's stuck a quote. So basically that has the effect of putting quote at the end of that line, and a quote at the beginning of this line. So let me just demonstrate. Let me close this, and let me delete those quotes we've just entered. Search, replace. So find what, end of line character, which is \n, replace with quote, \n quote. So that will replace every end of line character, end of line, with basically every end of line character, it will put a quote before and a quote after, which has the effect, as you saw, of putting a quote at the end of each line and the beginning of the next line. So we want to now click on replace all. And that's done. As you can see, it says here in the status bar, replace 237 occurrences. So once for each keyword phrase. So let's close that. So okay, we need to add a quote then manually right at the very start here. But that's pretty much it. You can see it's added a quote at the end of each line and the beginning of each next line. So that's a quick way of using TextPad to add quotes at the beginning and end of each line. Check the very first one, as you saw, you may have to add a quote right at the start and scroll down to the bottom and check the very last line, and it's added an extra quote, so we can get rid of that. But that's basically it. It's doing that, using that search and replace, adds a quote at the beginning and end of every line. So that can be a very useful way of doing it. So that's, as you can see, that's how it looks at the start and all the way through. And that's how it looks at the end. So I'm going to close this down. Save changes, no. And I'm going to open it up again. ebook keywords.txt. And obviously we've opened it without saving changes, so we've got rid of all the quotes. We're starting fresh. So in this case, you do exactly the same thing: search, replace. But this time we're going to add square brackets. So what we want to do, we're searching once again for \n. We're searching for end of line character. Conditions text, yes. Regular expression ticked, yes. Active document, yes. Replace with, we want to replace the first quote here with a closing bracket and the second quote with an opening bracket. Okay, so we're finding end of line character and we're replacing it with close bracket, end of line character, open bracket. So let's click on find. So there's our end of line character. Let's click on replace, and you can see what it's done. It's stuck a closing bracket, closing square bracket, put the end of line character back, so to speak, and then put an opening square bracket. So let's delete that, just so we're starting fresh. Place the cursor right at the start of the document, and this time let's choose replace all. Okay, once again, checking the status bar at the bottom. Replaced 237 occurrences. That sounds right, yeah. So let's close this box down now. So as you can see, it's added a opening and closing bracket on each line, except again on the first line. So we need to add we need to add an opening bracket manually. Okay. And if you scroll down to the end, it's added an extra bracket, so we can just delete that. But everything else is fine. It's basically put an opening and closing square bracket around each term. So that's how you can manually, well not manually, that's how you can use the automatic features of TextPad to add, to automatically add characters at the beginning and end of each line, which obviously can save you a lot of time. And whatever text editor you're using, if it's got a powerful search and replace, or specifically, if it has what's known as, if we go back to search and replace, if it has what's known as regular expressions, which basically means special characters, because this \n stands for end of line, you can do some very powerful things. And as you can see in this example, that's a very quick way of adding text automatically to each line. And if you're not sure how to do it, if you want to read up more on regular expressions, or if you're not sure how to do it in your text editor, just click on help and you'll always find a lot of helpful information on how to do it.